Hi guys, Crystal here from Homemaking on the Homestead, and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to show you how I took an almost 9-pound ham and turned that into 19 different meals, which equals 38 servings. This is part one. I was going to try to do all of this in one big video, but it just simply got too long. So I'm going to show you part one today, and soon part two will come out. Probably not the next video, but it may be the next one after that. Part two will be. I bought this ham at Costco, and it was right around Easter time, so I got a pretty good deal on it. And it was, as you can see, a little under 9 pounds. My plan was to begin by cooking up the ham and just having a couple nights worth of dinners that were just ham and side dishes. These hams also come with a glaze packet. It's a brown sugar glaze, and I did use that as well. I just went ahead and took off the wrappings, put it into my baking dish, and baked it according to the directions that were given to me on the ham. I covered the ham up with foil as per the directions. I will often reuse foil if I have some that is still in good shape, and that is what I did with this ham. The second piece is a piece that was reused. I cooked it until the temperature read what the instructions said, which was anywhere between 140 and 165. I didn't want to overcook it. The ham is fully cooked already, and I didn't want to overcook it because it can dry it out. So I pulled it out of the oven when it was at 145 degrees and went ahead and put on the glaze and covered it with that, baked it all in the oven again at a little bit higher temperature, and it ended up looking just beautiful. The first night I served it with some potato salad and a green salad. I had the potato salad left over from another meal, and on the second night I made up some of my own homemade rice-a-roni and served it with that. Okay, so now after a couple of ham dinners, you can see what I have left. And now my plan is today to take this meat that I have left and chop it up and see how many cups of ham I have. I am going to take the bone and any of the juices that are left in the pan and put those in my Instant Pot along with some water to make some ham broth. Okay, that is the bone that was in the ham, and I am going to put this, some juices, and of course there's still some meat pieces that are left on it, and that's just fine with me. That will add more flavor to my bone broth. So I'm going to get that started in the Instant Pot in just a few minutes as soon as I finish cutting up the rest of this ham. So you can see I got quite a bit of ham here. Okay, so that's a lot. I ended up with a lot of ham. This is an 8-cup measuring cup, and I'm going to say I have at least 10, somewhere probably between 10 and 12 cups of ham. So that is super. I'm really happy about that. So this is what I have left of the juices, the bone that I showed you, and as I was cutting it up, if I found pieces that were particularly fatty, you know, even if there was some meat on, I just threw them in here as well. So all of this is going to go into my Instant Pot. And when I'm all done, I can let the fat rise to the top and put it in the refrigerator and spoon that off. But to make the broth, this will certainly make a whole lot of flavorful broth. Now, let's make some stock. Into my Instant Pot, I am going to stick this bone along with these meat scraps. And I am going to put all these juices that were in the pan from baking it. I am not going to be adding any salt because ham is very salty as it is, but I am going to add about, let's see, that's 4 cups. I'm going to add 8 cups of water to all of this. I'm going to cook this for 90 minutes to make sure that it just gets as flavorful as it possibly can. Also, make sure you have this little knob up here turned to sealing. While this is cooking, I'm going to show you what I have in store for tonight's dinner. So I measured out all that ham because I was curious. And yes, I did. I had like a little over 12 cups, so I think that's fantastic. For tonight's dinner, I'm going to use 2 cups. So I pulled out 2 cups. I am going to make a 1-pot pasta ham dinner. And who doesn't like dinner that's all in one pot and ready to go before you know it? So let me show you what I'm doing. I chopped up a small onion. I have 1 red sweet pepper, a little bit of celery, and 1 pretty large mushroom. So I chopped all those up. You can use whatever vegetables you want. I also have almost 2 cups of frozen peas that definitely needed to be added. I was going to do peas and carrots, but I really needed to utilize these peas. So that is going to go into this dish too. To my pot that I have on a medium-high heat, I have added some oil, and now I'm going to add these veggies and cook them until they are nice and soft. Okay, for the liquid, it needs 2 cups of chicken broth and another cup of half and half or milk. Because this needed chicken broth or ham broth, but mine's in the Instant Pot, obviously, and I did not have any chicken broth, I just put water in here. And I'm going to add a couple of scoops of this Better Than bouillon into the pot after I put the liquid in there. Now that these vegetables are mostly cooked down, I'm going to add my frozen peas and let those cook until they defrost and get kind of soft. Now I'm going to add the ham and stir that up and let it heat up until the ham gets warm and soft. And now my liquid and my Better Than bouillon. For spices, I'm going to add a little bit of garlic and a little bit of this garlic and herb seasoning that I get from Costco. I actually really like this. And yeah, it's more garlic, but we like garlic, so just add whatever seasonings are your favorites. I'm going to wait till after it's done before I add any salt if it's needed. I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then I will be adding 8 ounces of rotini pasta. Little twirly ones. You can add whatever kind of pasta you like, but I'm adding 8 ounces to the pot. Just kind of try to push all the pasta down underneath the liquid as much as possible. Put the lid on. I'm going to turn this down and cook it for about 10 minutes, which is the time on the bag of pasta. This is cooked for about 10 minutes now, and the pasta still is a little too firm for my liking, so I'm going to let it cook for a few more minutes, and that will also help absorb up some more of the liquid that's in there. All right, this is done, and I am going to add about a cup or so of grated cheese. Okay, that is done. I'm going to let it sit for a little bit because I've got to dish up the rest of my dinner. And there it is, creamy ham and pasta 1-pot dinner. At this point, my broth was done, and so I strained out the bones and the bits and pieces, and I divided it into 3 canning jars so that I could let the fat kind of rise to the top and put it into the refrigerator. Well, good morning, you guys. I am up and at it. I just had a shower, I'm dressed, and I am ready to tackle that ham. Right now, I have these 10 cups of ham still left. I have the 3-quart jars that are almost full of the ham broth, and the fat has come to the top, and I'm going to just spoon that off. And I have a few carrots and a couple onions. I'm going to cut that up. And I have 7 canning jars and a big bag of pinto beans that I just bought. So today's plan is to can up some ham and pinto bean soup. Okay, you guys, here is how I am going to do this. I have got my ham ready to go. I have my beans measured out. I have my carrots and onions all chopped up, and I've got some salt waiting there. And I have my broth on the stove, just kind of on low. It doesn't need to be too hot. Here's my plan. I'm going to start by adding a half a cup of beans. Because I am making soup, I do not want to put too many beans in here because they're going to expand in size, and I want to have room for everything in my jar. So a half a cup will fill up this jar after it cans, probably close to being halfway full. I am going to add a half a cup of my ham, and then I am throwing in a little handful of diced onions and a small handful of my sliced carrots. And even though my broth has some saltiness to it, the ham does too, but I am going to add a little bit more. I'm going to add a half a teaspoon into the jar. It's totally optional, so you do what works best for you. I'm going to go ahead and fill up all the rest of my jars like that, and then I will be topping them with the broth. I did not go into a lot of detail on the canning of this soup. Just the steps that I went through. I have a lot of other videos on canning, so you can check out my playlist for that. So I need to get these jars filled to within a 1-inch headspace, and I may not have enough broth to do that, so I'm going to start by filling them all about 3/4 of the way, and then I will top that off with water, only because I don't have any chicken broth. I would do chicken broth because chicken broth is so mild that it really doesn't hurt anything flavor-wise to mix them together. I'm expecting that each of these jars will give us one meal, probably paired with something like cornbread or biscuits or something like that, and salad. So at this point, this is another 7 meals with that ham. I ended up canning my quart jars for 90 minutes at about 10 pounds of pressure, which is what I need for my elevation. That is the required amount. If you are canning beans and canning ham, you need 90 minutes of time for that. Okay, so I recounted, and I have about 7 cups here of ham still left. So that's amazing. Now, if you cannot get through all these meals and you're worried about the ham, going bad or whatever because you want to stretch this out, or you want to stretch out the project, you can throw these into the freezer and like in 2-cup portions or something, because that's kind of approximately what I use for most of the recipes. Okay guys, this is great. So all 7 jars look beautiful. The soup looks great. And so I'm really excited. I'm going to let those cool down and be able to put those on my shelf. So basically at this point I have made 11 meals from that ham, which is 22 servings. I keep seeing it different around on the internet. It's like some people go by meals, some people go by servings. I'll just give you both. So made 11 meals for us and 22 servings at this point. So I have another 3 meals to show you that I stretched out for 8 different nights, and that is coming up in part 2 so that you can see in total what I did with one 8.81 pound ham. Okay you guys, thank you for watching this video, and please give it a like, and if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that yet. I would love to see you back here again. So alright, I hope this was helpful, and I hope that it inspires you to see if you can stretch your food dollars and save some money on groceries as things are getting so expensive. I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.